Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Brendan. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? Good. I hope you said yeah, because today we're going to be learning about nested if statements. And nested if statements are just kind of more of an expansion on if statements. And I'm going to show you how they work. So what you can do with an if statement is you can... Well, let me get my cursor in here. I've cleared the code out to just have the scanner and closing scanner and the basic main. Okay. So let's say that you have a variable that's equal to 10 and you want to test. For some reason you set it equal to 10 but you don't remember, so you want to say you want to test if this variable is equal to 10, and then you also want to test to see if this variable is equal to 0. So what you can do is you can say if variable is less than 10, you can say system.out.print, you can say yep, it's less than 10 if it is, which actually it isn't. Let's just go less than equal to 10. So we set our variable to 10, we don't remember, so we have an if statement. If it's less than or equal to 10, so let's fix this up. So if this is true, which it is in our case, this would fire this segment of code. And now we also want to test if it's equal to 0. But we already know that if it's greater than 10, it's not going to be 0. So we can embed our if statements within each other, called nested if statements. So you can put this if statement right within this other if statement too. So we can go if variable is equal to 0, we can say system.out.println. Oops, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. Actually, it's 0. Okay? And now, actually, let's change this int to equal the input, just so we can mess around with this a little bit. So we'll take an integer as our input, and let's check this out real quick. Okay, if we put in 10, yep, it's less than or equal to 10, cool. Let's run this program again. If we do 0, yep, it's less than or equal to 10, actually it's 0. Perfect. So this is kind of useful just to have these different levels of if statements, these different nests. But this example that we had, this isn't exactly useful. It's not a very practical example. So let's try making something a little bit more useful and more relevant to game development. Yeah, I bet you're itching to make games at this point. You've gone through 20-something tutorials. Okay, I'll give you a little taste. Nothing much, but we'll do it anyways. So let's make a little game simulation where that's system.out.print. We're gonna ask the user, what's your name, soldier? Okay, and now we are going to make a string that is equal to their input. So string name input dot next line, and this is going to set name equal to whatever they enter. Hopefully it actually is their name and they're not just messing with us. And now we are going to ask them, oh man, okay, what did you score? We don't have an actual game for them to play and get a score, so we're just going to ask them what their score was. So we'll set their score of the game equal to whatever they tell us, so that would be input.nextInt. Okay, cool. We have what we want so far. So now we're going to do the testing part. So let's say our game is kind of like a first-person shooter, something like Call of Duty, and you want to award them medals based on their score, kind of like you get medals in Call of Duty. So let's go, if the score is greater than 100, we'll say system.out.println. We will say you've earned the amateur medal. Okay, cool. You're good, but you're not that great, but you've earned the amateur medal for scoring 100. Now, what if your score is greater than 500? You've earned the amateur medal, so you want them to tell that because their score is greater than 100, but it's also greater than 500. So we're going to say you've earned the pro medal. They're getting better. They can consider themselves a professional now. And now, once your score is 500, you've earned the amateur medal, you've earned the pro medal. But if your score is over 1,000, if they're just amazing, they've earned all 3 medals that they can earn. And you can tell them that. And you can just say, you are an expert. They've earned expert status in the game. So this is a very practical use. And now, what we're also going to do is, you might be kind of confused, there's 3 levels of nested if statements. And so basically, if this one's executed, it's going to go in, it's going to run this, and it's going to run into this next if statement. If this is false, it's not going to run any of this code that I highlighted, because this if statement is nested in this if score is greater than 1,000. That if statement is nested within this if score is greater than 500. So that's not going to get launched at all. And so if that's false, then this is going to skip it. But if it's true, it's going to run this, and it's going to print out that you've earned the pro medal. And then it's going to test if the score is greater than 1,000. And if it's not going to run this. If it is greater than 1,000, it is going to run this. Okay, sounds good. One more thing though. If their score is not greater than 100, if they really suck, we want to make sure that they know they should not be playing our game. They are not worthy. So we're going to throw in an else statement. And so if this first score is greater than 100, if that fails, it's going to skip all of this code, and it's going to see this else, and then it's going to run this else, because this if statement failed, so it runs the else statement. Okay. But if this score is greater than 100, if that comes out to be true, it's going to run whatever is in here, and this else statement will not get run, regardless of what these equate to, because this first initial if statement that this else statement is paired with, that was equated to true, so this else statement can't be run. So this will only be run if score is not greater than 100. So we'll print out, you suck. Now if you think about it, there's 4 possibilities really. And so we are going to test all 4. What's your name? I don't really know why I put this in our program, but I did. I'm just going to put general. What did you score? Let's say I scored really bad. I scored 99. You suck. Thank you, sir. You suck too. Okay. Let's try this again. What's your name? Bob Jones. What did you score? I scored 150. I've earned the amateur medal. Cool. What's your name? Billy Bow. What did you score? I scored, this time I got better. I scored, let's go, 660. I've earned the amateur medal, and I also earned the pro medal. Sweet! I am getting so good at this game. I am so proud. I gotta tell my mom. Okay. What's your name? Peter. What did you score? I am so good. I scored 10,000. I am ridiculous. I've earned the amateur medal. I've earned the pro medal, and I am an expert. Wow, I am the best at life. I win. Okay. So that's kind of the gist of nested if statements. You can use it kind of for something practical like this. They're not just kind of something fun that you can do with your program. You can actually use it for something. So I hope you choose to use it for something useful. Don't do it for drugs, because that's not good. Don't do those. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.